Hi everyone, and welcome to this video where I will show you how to do a granny square. If you think about crochet, especially beginners, then you probably think about those little blocks that your grandma made you a blanket, and it looks like this. So people use granny squares to make pullovers or skirts or blankets and so much more. Or you can just go on and make a giant granny square like this. So let me go and show you how to do a granny square. I will be using double knit yarn and a 5mm hook. You can make your granny squares one color or you can change colors for each row. Today I will be using 4 colors, so we will make 4 rows. As you can see, we will work with double crochets and chain stitches for the spaces, and to form the corners will also be the chain stitches. You can also see we are going to work in groups of 3 double crochets. So you can check out my previous videos of the double crochets and the chains and the magic circle, and I will post the links in the video description. And as you will see, when we change colors, we will join them in the corners. We will start with a magic circle so that we can close this hole in the middle as much as possible. So let's start with a magic circle or a magic loop. And we will just yarn over and pull it through the loop to keep everything in place. This one will count as a chain stitch now, because we will start with 2 chains now. That will count as your first double crochet stitch. So now we have 3 chain stitches for your first double crochet. So for the first group, since we are working in groups of 3 double crochets, we are now going to make 2 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and we will chain 2 for the first corner, 3 double crochets for your next side, 1, 2, 3. Chain 2 for the next corner, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Oops. 3. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets for the last group. 3, chain 2. Now before we join these 2 chains to the top of the 3 chains that we did here, we need to close this gap. So we will just pull on this loose piece of yarn from your magic circle. Can we just pull on the yarn? And we will weave in this loose piece of yarn later on. And now we will join to the top chain. So we will insert our hook in this top chain. There we go. Yarn over and pull it through both loops. And we will end off this color with yarn over and pull it through the loop and just cut, pull it through entirely, pull it tight, and there's your first round. Here you can see the groups of 3 double crochets nicely, and as well as the chain spaces for the corners. I'm just going to weave in the loose piece of yarn from the magic circle, and I'm just going inside with my needle. And I'm just going to pull it through, and I'm just going to go back just to make sure it is secure. And I'm just going to cut this off. Every time you start the next row, remember to flip your work or turn your work so that you work the back side of the previous row facing you. So the easiest way to see that, the front side, the top of the double crochets that give you a chain-like look will be facing you. As you can see now, you can see them from the front side, and from the back side of your work you won't see them very well. So let's turn our work and join our next color. We won't join our next color at the same corner every time, just to make sure that it won't bulge out. So we will choose a different corner every time. So for now, I will join my next color in this corner. So to join our next color, you will insert your hook in this corner space, and you will pull through the yarn of your next color so that you have a loop on your hook. But now you will take both strands. Just yarn over and pull it through, just to keep it secure. So again, this one will count as your first chain, and we need 3 chains to act as 1 double crochet. So now we only take 1 yarn to continue, and we will chain 2. For the corners, you will have 2 groups of 3 double crochets and 2 chains. But for your first corner, we will start with 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Okay, now we will go over to the next corner. We won't make any chains in between. So we are going to go 3 double crochets, I'm just working over this loose yellow yarn just to work it in. So there's your second double crochet and your third double crochet. Now we have to make a corner, so it is chain 2, and we will do 3 double crochets in this corner space again to form the corner of the purple row. Two and 3. Now you can see the corner that it formed. Okay, and again in this one, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Three, 2 chains for the corner, 3 double crochets, for the next corner, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and we will end in the corner that you started with, because it still needs 3 double crochets and 2 chains for the corner. Two, 3. Okay, chain 2, and we will join with a slip stitch the top chain from your first 3 chains. Yarn over and cut the yarn, pull it through and pull it tight. I'm just going to weave in these loose pieces of yarn so that they will be out of the way. The way I'm going to weave in the yellow piece, I want to keep it within the yellow, so I'm just going to go down at first, and then I'm just going to continue in the middle, just so that you don't see the yellow between the purple, and just back again. And for the purple, we already worked over it, so I'm just going to weave it back. For row 3 I will be using blue. So we end off here. So let's just start our next row in this corner. Remember, just grab a piece of yarn, and we will use both tails to yarn over and just secure it. And we will just work in this loose piece of yarn, and we will chain 2. So this one will act as a chain. So double crochet 2. So now in this chain space we will do 3 double crochets. For the corner it's 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. And for the side in that chain space, just 3 double crochets. Corner. just 3 double crochets in this side. Let's just sort this yarn out. And again a corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And we will end in this corner with 3 double crochets and 2 chains. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and we will join at the top of this 3 chains with a slip stitch. And end off with yarn over, pull it through, just cut it off, pull it all the way through and just pull it tight. Every time when you just continue with the next row, there will be one more chain space at the sides. Here you had 1, now you have 2. So it will just continue to get more as your square grows. So for my next and last row for this video, I will be using pink. And remember, we joined this blue row at this corner, so I'm just going to start in this corner. But remember to flip your work. And just join the yarn by taking 2 yarn tails. And again, just to end this row, we're going to do 3 double crochets in this chain space, chain 2, and then join it with a slip stitch. And end off with yarn over, pull it through, just cut it off, pull tight. Okay, so now I will just weave in the loose ends, and there you go, your granny square.